Hi, I'm Tim, and this is Timberway Designs. I've been doing a series of cutting rocks in half, beach rocks, common rocks that anybody can find on public beaches. The ones I look for, I make cabochons, so that's kind of what I'm material that I'm interested in. So I got 10 rocks here that we're going to cut in half and see what's inside and see if they're worthy of making something out of them. So let's take a look and see what we got this week. So these are the rocks we're going to cut this week. As you can see, there's a lot of amygdaloidals and some vesicular basalts or rhyolites. So let's start at the top and we'll kind of take a look at them dry, and then I'll dunk them and we'll take a look at them wet. So I believe this is a vesicular rhyolite because it's got a little red tinge to it. It looks like it's got a little prehnite growing in it right there. So let's take a closer look at it. And we'll get it wet. Yeah, that's got a, hopefully all that stuff on the outside is crisscrossing through the inside. That's my hope. Okay, here we got another amygdaloidal. I believe this is basalt and either quartz or calcite. I'm not sure. I have not done a scratch test on it, so I'm not certain. And that one looks like it's got a little green tinge, so this might even be prehnite. So that'd be kind of interesting to see what's inside this guy. And this one here, I'm not really sure. I believe it's a amygdaloidal, but I probably picked it up because it's got a little pinkish stuff going on the outside there. We'll get it wet. It's got some interesting pattern and stuff going on. I'm curious to see what's on the inside of here. It's even got some speckle stuff, so it might be a conglomeration or something like that. I'm not really sure either. So I believe this is an amygdaloidal. This is basalt, and it looks like epidote running through there. So let's get this wet. And you can see why I picked this guy up. It's just laying there looking gorgeous, so I had to throw it in my bucket. There's another amygdaloidal. Now I can't tell if that's feldspar or an agate trying to grow in there. I probably picked it up because I was thinking I had agate on my mind. Get this wet. That's a busy rock right here. It even got some green spots in it. That'll be interesting slice. All right, this one here, I'm leaning towards like a sedimentary rock. I'm not sure. I'm not a geologist, and I don't claim to be one. I'll try to identify these the best I can. I just pick them up because they look cool. Get this one wet. Kind of hoping the black lines go through the inside, make it looking kind of, but it's solid, so a guy can make a cabochon out of it. We got this big guy here, and it had a lot of quartz looking stuff running through there. That's probably why I picked it up. Let's get it wet. It's got kind of a bluish green going on there. You can see the lines, little fortifications. Little squiggly lines, we call those fortifications. So I'd be interested to see what's inside this one. So this is a piece of granite. See that right there? But it's got all this black, shiny, speckly stuff there, and it's got a line running through it. Some kind of intrusion. Get it wet. So I don't know if that's epidote. It's got kind of a bluish tinge to it, I think it's got sparkles. I can't tell from here. But yeah, this blue stuff here probably got me interested. So we'll see if that is inside the rock. This one here, it's got the feldspar flash right there. You can see that, but I'm not sure if it's feldspar. It looks like a mix of like everything. It had kind of a pinkish hue to it, so we'll see what it looks like on the inside. Got this little guy here. Looked like it had some epidote, feldspar, all kinds of stuff going on in there. And it was kind of, let's get a focus, there we go. So I think it would be interesting on the inside, and I think it would make a very interesting cabochon. And yeah, that's it. That's all 10. So let's take them downstairs and slice them open and see what's inside. Okay, we're down on this is my high-tech 10-inch lapidary saw. It uses a sintered diamond blade. They are not sharp. I'm rubbing my thumb on it right now. There's no edge. It's flat or rounded off. It's metal full of little tiny diamonds, and it wears away. Now that my blade wobbles a little bit, that's because I abused it one time, and I just it's got more cutting life in it, and I don't want to get rid of it yet. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dress it with my the way I do it, and I've explained that I think in episode 2. So let's get started. Okay, first up is this big guy right here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it right down the middle just like that. Actually, I'm going to come at it this way here. Okay, ready for the big reveal on the big rock? Here we go. Oh. Man, that looks like kind of agate right there in the center right there. That's kind of cool. Alright, let's take a closer look upstairs. Okay, we'll do this viscular, this spocular, this, I don't know. We're going to cut it like that. Okay, big agate inside. Let's see. Now, that's kind of neat though. Got some stuff going on here. We'll take a close look at that upstairs. Got this guy next. Got little specks. Let's see what it looks like on the inside. Kind of interested in this one here. Got a very interesting pattern going on in there. All right. We'll do this guy here next. Got a little pre-neck going on. I'm hoping it goes all the way through. All right, let's see if the inside is as interesting as the outside. Oh. It's got some bubbles looking stuff going through there. Okay. Okay, we've got this amygdaloidal basalt. We're going to split it just like that. See if that transfers deeper inside. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted right there. That'll make a cool cabochon. Okay, got this piece here. We'll split it just like that. Let's see. It's kind of, light's kind of bright. I think upstairs we'll be able to see more of what's going on in here. All right, got this chunk of granite with this stripe running around it. We'll split it just like that. Yeah, I've been curious about this one here. Ooh, that is very interesting. All right, we got this. I think I called it a sedimentary rock. Got some quartz and stuff going on here. We're going to split it just like that. Actually, I'm going to split it like that. This is another one I'm kind of curious, really curious what's inside. Oh, that is very interesting. We got this one here. Got a little bit of everything, it looks like. I think I'm going to split it just like that. Alright, here's the reveal. Yeah, that's got some stuff going on in there. And those are not holes, those are solid. I can't feel them when I rub my thumb across them. Finally we got this little interesting rock right here. It's got some pink stuff and some green stuff. I'm going to split it right down the middle. Alright, let's take a look. Yeah, kind of what I expected, kind of like the outside. Very interesting though. Alright, let's take them upstairs. We'll take a closer look at them. So we just got back up from my shop downstairs in the basement where the saw is. Got a bag of rocks here. Let's take a closer look at them. So here are the rocks I cut downstairs. Let's check them out. We'll do the big guy here first. Get them wet. Now I noticed there was a fortification right there. I don't know how close I can get. Almost looks like an agate pocket right here. I don't think it's an agate, but that's similar. So for all you who don't know, fortification is a fancy word for squiggly lines in a rock like an agate. Not like if it's a sedimentary rock. If there's just flat layers going up, they got to be kind of squiggly. So what happens is there's probably a cavity in this rock at one time, and it's slowly over hundreds of thousands of years, millions of years probably, filled and dried with minerals from rainwater, and then that builds up fills up that cavity, and with heat and pressure, it creates quartz and whatever mineral there. I don't know if I'm trying to get a good shot of this for you. There we go. So that'll make a pretty cool cabochon, I'm thinking. All right. We had this piece of granite here with this band running around the outside, right there. And I am impressed with this. It's almost got a bluish tint to it. And I think that'll make an impressive cabochon with this orange and black below, and then maybe a good chunk of swath of that through there. So I thought that was kind of neat. I do not know. I wanted to think epidote, but I'm not sure. I don't think epidote's blue like that. If any of you geologists out there have any idea, give me a little advice in the comments down below. This one here, it had this black streak running through, and it had some quartz looking stuff here. I don't know if I'd call this granite. Maybe not. I'm not really sure. Man, it's just beautiful inside. And you can see it. I'll shine it through the light there. You can see it's solid. There's no air gaps or anything in there. I think that's going to be really neat. It's another amygdaloidal, and I think that's quartz. I haven't scratch tested it yet, but it seemed pretty hard when I sawed through it. It had some interesting designs going on in there, and then there's some cloudy, kind of bubbly stuff going on here. That should make interesting. And then I think it's rhyolite. It's red, and rhyolite usually shines really well when you're making cabochons out of it. Here's another amygdaloidal. This is basalt with the epidote streak running through it. And I was really impressed with this one too. That's why I picked these up, these mixtures like this, and that ran through. And a lot of times you'll cut them open and it'll just be on the surface, but that is on the inside. So that will make something interesting as well. I called this vesicular. I might need some help with that word too, folks. Let's look at it. I probably picked it up because it looked agate to me. And on the inside, not a lot going on. It pretty much stayed the same color all the way through. There's a little bit right there that was kind of interesting. A little green spot there. But the pattern and the shape and everything, we'll make a cabochon out of that too. There's another piece, amygdaloidal or vesicular. Vesicular, yeah. This has got prehnite in it, and the reason I know it's prehnite because you can see copper. So let me set this and see which one piece had. You could, oh, right here. I'm going to try to flash you. Right in here, there's pure copper. You can barely, they're just tiny bits amount. Oop, just a tiny bit, but it's right there. Yeah, just, it's hard to see here, but I can see it really good under the light. But there's copper right there. Pure copper. So that was kind of cool to see that. So this is this little guy here. And a lot of people, I think they call it like a galaxy stone or something because it basically looks like the galaxies out there in space. Could be wrong, but I know there's some similar to this. It's kind of busy. There's some little things going on. Actually, this right here looks like a piece of copper. So this might be prehnite. Right in the middle of this guy, I can see a little flash in there, right there. I think that's copper. All right, this one, I probably picked it up because I had this pinkish thing going on here. And it's got a good pattern on the inside. Nothing really special going on, but I think it would shine nicely. Finally, we have him. This one. So it had a kind of a greenish whitish thing, and then it had this orange stuff going on the bottom here. I kind of like the pattern when I cut it open. And it looks like there's little holes and stuff in there, but that is just smooth as ever. And I'll kind of shine the light on it, and you can't see any holes or anything in there, or little caverns or whatever. And then the red kind of penetrated through here, but it's mostly this green and cream colored with some dark flecks in there. So there you have it. 10 rocks I cut in half, common beach rocks anybody can find. We'll finish up here. So here are the 10 rocks from episode 5, and that I cut in half, and then I take half of it now. I'm going to make cabochons out of it to show you that these common rocks can make beautiful cabochons. So let's look at this one up here. So this is the amygdaloidal that had the green spots in it. And then what I'll do is right there, I'll put on the cut time, what episode it was, and when I cut this rock in half. So if you want to go back and see this rock being cut in half, what it looked like whole. So the other half I took and I made a cabochon out of. God, just can't hang on to these things. They're so slippery. So this is the cabochon made out of this rock right here. And it come out pretty good. The rhyolite shines pretty well. I'm not really sure what the green stuff is. I think it possibly epidote, maybe prehnite. I'm not really positive. Not a geologist. But this is the cabochon made out of the other half of that rock. So, and if you're wondering what happened to my thumb, I was working on my deck the other day. And I was hammering some nails in and just glanced at my thumb for a second, and then the next time I swung the hammer, it landed square on my thumb, but it's okay now. It just don't look good. So don't worry about that. All right, that's that one. Okay, this is the unakite with the epidote in it. And this one made a really nice cabochon right here. I was really pleased with that, and the unakite shines really nice. It's just a good starter rock. It's good for tumbling. It's good for cab making. And usually they're really pretty on the inside, and it varies so much. They vary so much. So this is both of them right there. Okay, this is the granite. This is the original rock, one half of the original rock here. So this is the cabochon. God, can't hang on to these things. They're so slippery. I thought that come out pretty good too. Granite never really disappoints, like I've said before. It's usually pretty. Sometimes you get a piece every once in a while. It's kind of rough and you won't get the cab won't be as shiny as this, but a lot of times they come out really shiny. So there's the two pieces together right there. Okay, this is another amygdaloidal, I believe. But maybe not. So this is the original rock. It had the green and the white going on in there. I thought that was basalt or rhyolite. This is the cabochon I made out of it. And that come out pretty shiny too. There's a few dull spots like right there. But overall, I think it made a really nice looking cabochon. There's the back side. So there's those two right there. Okay, this one was the rhyolite with the quartz in it. And rhyolite usually never disappoints. Actually, you can kind of see the rhyolite right there. You can see the planes there. I think you can see them on this side here too. Well, I thought you could. Anyway, here's cabochon I made out of that one. And rhyolite always shines up beautifully. It's just, you can't get any better than that. That's a beautiful shine on there. Got a little black, orange, white. So there's the one half and there's the other half. Okay, this is the amygdaloidal. This had the white and the green speck things trying to form some agates right there. Rhyolite. This is the cabochon. Now rhyolite, usually I can get a better shine out of rhyolite than this. Sometimes it comes out a little dull, but it's still pretty shiny. What the stuff on top though shined up really nicely. There's the back side. So there's the one half and then the cabochon. Okay, this was the green rock with the little prehnite on one end. I think it was over here, right there. The little chunk of prehnite. That's what it looked like on the inside. Man, this thing come out really nice. I was totally impressed with that. I must have hit a good pocket of prehnite right there. There's kind of a greenish blue going on here. There's the back side. And the shine on this was awesome. So there's the two rocks right there. So this one here I had high hopes for, and it did have some fortifications, which are squiggly lines like an agate or something. One of these days I'll get a bunch of examples and I'll cover the key words for some of these rocks here, like fortification, druzy, and a couple other words. So this is the cabochon I made. Now I had an unfortunate incident when I was about done with it. The tip broke off and I glued it back on. So this one I will not sell. I'll keep this one. And there's the other half. So we got a pretty good shine. I thought it was a good shine. There's a few bad spots like that one right there. There were some holes and stuff in it. There's the back side. If I probably would have made an oval or something, this probably wouldn't have happened here. So there's the two right there. All right, this one really surprised me. I thought this was like a quartzite because this cut really easily in quartz right here. And there's the inside, and there was like a little red streak right there. So here's the cabochon I made out. This came out really nice. I thought it was going to be, you know, it wouldn't shine like this, but it shined beautifully. Try to get out of the shadow here. There's the back side. Front side. There they are together. Now I saved my favorite for last, and that was this piece of, I'm going to call it sedimentary rock. It has the little blue streak and then the little bits of stuff sticking up in there. Somebody actually commented it looked like barbed wire, and it does kind of look like barbed wire. So I got a lot left here. I could probably make a couple more cabs out of this. So on this one, I made a cab like that, and the shine was freaking nice. So there's the blue. There's the back side. There's front side. I'm impressed. I think next time maybe I'll try to do something in that direction. So here's the original rock, and there's the cabochon I made out of it. So these were the rocks from episode 5, and I made cabochons out of them. So I'll be doing that from now on, and you get to see that these common rocks, like I said, actually make beautiful cabochons. And when I'm picking up these rocks on the beach, I'm looking for rocks that could possibly make pretty cabochons, and this is my result right here. So I hope you enjoyed this part of the series where I actually make a cabochon out of the rocks that I pick up instead of just cutting them in half. I mean, that's cool just to see them cut in half and what they look like, but I think it's kind of neat that you know, we're making something out of it and making a common rock look really nice. Now these rocks here, like I mentioned before, are from episode 5. This is episode 6. I had to reshoot this whole thing again because I kept saying episode 4 for some reason. I don't know. So all these rocks here will end up on my Etsy page, and I'll put a link down below in the description. I'm kind of getting behind on that. I had some other stuff going. I've been working on outside of doing the rocks here, so hopefully we can get all caught up and get them on there. Now, when I put them on there, I'll write where they're from, episode wise. So if you do want one, then you can go back and actually see that rock in the hole and being cut in half. Make kind of a cool story if attached to it. So I'd like to thank my subscribers. It's really nice to have people interested in my content, that they subscribe and want to see more of it. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. I got this cute little thing I put up there to kind of remind you. Just go down below and click on subscribe, and then slide over and give me a thumbs up. Gets the analytics out there so more people can see this content. So hopefully we'll see you next week. Got some more cool rocks coming up, and that's all I got. We'll catch you later.